Hello and welcome back to the channel and another video about the construction of Heaton Lodge Junction Phase 2. That said, of course, I am stood next to Heaton Lodge Junction Phase 1 where I've just been pottering around this morning. Anyway, in this week's video I've got quite a bit to show you in terms of some 3D, well quite a lot of 3D printed items that have landed for the station, the elevated high-speed line station, so I'm going to show you those. The Daleks have landed. Yes, those machines which go in front of the coal unloading facility. So I'm going to show you those too. Apart from that, it's probably a bit of a shorter video this week. And unfortunately, next week, I'm going to have a few days off because I am worn out. I really am. So I'm going to have a few days off next week. And there'll be a video, obviously, in a couple of weeks' time. But anyway, let's crack on with today's video. And I will see you shortly. Right, a bit of progress on HS3 in terms of track laying. I'm almost there with it now. The track is almost laid. Let's just follow it through. So we've got the 2 points there, which obviously branch into 4 tracks. The 2 run-through lines in the middle, which are super elevated a little bit more than the ones in the platform. And then if we pass the HST, the main thing that I've done is just laid the points at the other side and then followed through with the track over the concrete flyover. And then the only bit that I haven't done is, and I was just, sod's law, just about to run out of track here. And then, yeah, all the track is done all the way up. So once the catenna is in, that is going to look really, really good. Well, at least I hope it is. So, yeah, there we go. Let's just have a look from the other side. I know it's not ideal, some of these S-bends on the track, which a lot of people have pointed out on this high-speed line, but at the end of the day, you know, I've had to compromise because it was an afterthought, as I said last week. But yeah, I'm really, really confident that this will look really good. You can see how the track super elevates there and then takes a really nice right-hand 30-foot radius curve off into the scenery to the right. Or at least it will do when it's finished. So yeah, let's have a look at the 3D bits and pieces that have just landed for this station. So folks, here it is, the new station, HS3 station, overbridge, lift shafts and stairways, which has just landed from Rob Bean, who does the 3D printing. And yeah, he's made a super job of it as well. So what we've got here is the lift shafts here. And in fact, I'll just reach behind the camera and show you. These actually slide inside so you can glaze the fronts. I've not fitted them at the minute, but I just wanted to show you this temporarily before it's actually secured down onto the platform, once I've covered the platforms, of course, with tarmac or whatever. But yeah, no, this is looking really good. We've also got glazing that goes up the stairways, which is yet going to be fitted, and a little bit of glazing. It's only about 1 centimetre high that goes along the footbridge as well. So, but yeah, I'm really pleased with that. The other side, with one of the 5 4-track catenary masts that Rob's also done, which I'm going to have to be careful with because they are quite fragile. So again, I'm just thinking of the best way of securing these down. It may be that this whole station will just be completely secured, and there'll be 4 handles to either side, and we'll lift it off every time the layout goes out. Because I think dismantling catenary masts on the actual station itself is going to be a little bit fraught with difficulty. So I might dispense with the magnets and just have these on there permanently, and just make sure that this station bit is on its own kind of cart when it goes to and from different exhibitions or destinations. Anyway, Rob has also done these, which carry the, obviously these are the platform roof struts or canopy pillars, which are going to carry the canopy. I haven't decided yet how I'm going to build that. And we've also got quite a number of these, which are the station lamps, which are just modelled on a pretty new shape, new style station lamp, because everything on this station has got to be pretty new. The other thing he's done, which is quite interesting, is, remember a few weeks ago I showed you the station announcing facility. You can buy one of these. Look back a few weeks and you'll see it in action, and you can link it up to any station in the UK, and it literally announces and displays the next trains at whatever station you set it to. So what Rob's done, in fact, what I did is I spoke to the proprietor, whose name I forget, of the company that makes these, and he sent me the internal bits, and Rob has designed a case for them. So what we can do is mount it on the platform rather, so you can see the moving display all the time, and the announcements will be coming out of a loudspeaker, which will probably be under the platform. So yeah, that is looking very good indeed. So yeah, lots more 3D printed items. I'm just going to nip round and show you the coal and loading facility, because we've got the Daleks have landed as well. This, of course, is the tunnel mouth. New kind of HS2 stroke HS3, well, my HS3, tongue-in-cheek, tunnel mouth. So yeah, that is ready for this is going to be actually linked into the end of the where the actual line disappears into the scenery. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my thoughts together. So yeah, this is for the scenic break at each end, and I've got 2 spare ones as well, just in case. But I'm going to be spraying these concrete, and then yeah, they should look really, really good. They're just high enough for the catenary as well. In fact, yeah, you can see it there. This is it will be a little bit higher, because obviously you can see that it's dropped down a bit there with the tracks a bit higher on this concrete flyover. But yeah, it's going to be stood about this high, and the catenary will go underneath. So that's going to sit, as I've just said, at the end of each scenic break. So yeah, this is looking really good. It's just a case now, I've got to finish the track work on here. I've got to finish the track work on the phase 1 side, and then we can get cracking with doing the droppers, and we can then get cracking also at the same time. I'm going to do droppers one day, and then to alleviate the boredom of doing that, I'll be building the buildings and assembling all the 3D printed items like walkways and etc. On them too. So that should be really good fun. But I hope you like that. I'm really, really pleased. I can see how this is turning out now. And yeah, with some HS3s rushing through and the GNER one coming the other way, and those Paxman Valentas howling and the lights on full high intensity lights of the HSTs, this should be really good. Hope you like it. So I thought we'd do something a little bit different this week and just weather a PCA wagon, of which I am very familiar, as some of you will know. The PCAs obviously carried concrete or cement, and they're available in all scales, N to double O gauge and obviously O gauge, the one we've got here. And I just wanted to show you just very briefly how I speed weather these wagons, because I use a slightly different technique, but I only use 3 colours which are popping up on your screen, and these are a dirty black, frame dirt, and rail match or precision paints, or Humbrol even if you can get it, just concrete colour. But just let's start with the dirty black, and all I'm going to do here is just gently give the frames and the ends of the wagon, forgive the noise of the compressor, and forgive, please, the state of my paint booth. So all I'm doing here is just giving them a little bit of a coating with dirty black, and as you can see, this immediately transforms the wagon even before you do anything else. So that is the first stage. Right, I've not even let the dirty black dry, but I'm just going to go over this with some frame dirt. Just a little bit of a weathering, a little bit of a coating rather. And the frame dirt just gives it a little bit more variety, and that's all we need. Just doing the ends again. These cement wagons were actually pretty clean in most of the time when they're running, apart from this cement, which we're going to do next. So that's the frame dirt done, all of about a minute. And finally, I'm just going to use the concrete colour. This is rail match concrete, but you can use any type of, obviously, manufacturer. Precision paints are just as good. And we're just going to put a little bit of concrete down the middle, like so, over the tops. Some of these were absolutely filthy at the ends. Now we're going to make it so it's actually, we're going to put it, well, basically we're going to put it on so you can see how wet it is, simply because of the next stage, which is coming up in a second. And then before it dries, I'm just going to put on some of this Johnson's talc. And what this does is this gives it a real gritty look, which is exactly what concrete or dried concrete looks like. I'm going to say, oops, a bit more, but it doesn't matter. Okay. So we're just going to go over it again. You'll find the airbrush actually blows off the excess anyway. And then we're going to go over that talc. Again with the airbrush. Spin it round. And yeah, what you find here is you just get this really lovely, I'm just trying to find the words to explain it. Just, yeah, this gritty surface. I'm just going to put a bit more on, a bit more talc, which just mimics really well concrete that's dried all over the wagon, which if you look at PCAs, that's exactly how they all look. Right, we'll just let that dry, and then we're just going to give it a dusting with dirty black. Okay, so we're just going to give it a little bit of a dusting with dirty black, just over the tops, like so. Just mainly over the walkways and the gantry. Right, I think that's just about done. And then after this, we're just going to give it a coat of satin varnish, which when this is dry, it will completely transform it. So on to the next stage. Okay, so here's the finished article, and I think that took me all of about 4 minutes to do. And as most of you will know, speed is everything to me. I've got to kind of maintain a good consistency in terms of quality, but at the same time I need to do things fast, and I hope this has been a good compromise. Also, what I usually do is just put a little bit of terps or thinner and just go over the markings, just to, I'm trying to hold the camera with one arm, excuse me. So yeah, just go over the markings with a cotton bud with some terps on, or some thinners or whatever. And because often this was the case on the real thing. So there we go. And I think that passes anybody's, in a massive train, or even a small train of 5 or 6, that will certainly pass the mark. And you've got the texture, that was the word I'm looking for earlier, the texture of the cement, and you've got the colour, that yellow colour as well. So yeah, I think that's pretty good for about 5 or 6 minutes work. Hope that helps. Right, here we are back at the coal unloading facility, which some of you might remember if you watch these videos regularly, me making a few weeks ago. I've still got to finish bits and bats from the glazing, for example, and the walkways. The walkways on this side are in, but the walkways on the other side have still got to be fixed. And of course, we've got all the interior to do as well, which shouldn't take long because these things were pretty bare inside, apart from the aforementioned walkways. But I was really pleased with how that came out. And yes, as it says on the thumbnail, the Daleks have landed. Now these little things here, oh, they're actually quite big things. I think they're about 6 foot high in real life, maybe just a bit less. But yeah, these existed on the real locations of coal unloading facilities to unlock the doors, the catches at the side of the MGR wagons to obviously let the coal drain out to the bottom and into the right down into the voids beneath the rails in as you can see here, which I've modelled. But on the real thing, they were pretty critical, these, but they were mechanical, so they didn't often go wrong, so I'm told. But there was always 2 in a line like this, just in case they did, and they could move one round, because you can imagine if you've got trains shuttling coal into coal unloading facilities one after the other, and these things stop working, it's going to cause absolute mayhem with delays and everything. So yeah, they were pretty critical items. These have got to be primed, they've got to be painted yellow. You can see a picture popping up on your screen now, the real thing. And yeah, they will look really, really good once there's a line of them on both tracks, and there'll be more inside as well, because there was more at the other end to obviously lock and latch the doors as the MGR wagons came out of the other side. So yeah, I'm really pleased with those. Other thing I've had done is these loud hailers, which existed all over the network, especially with BR. I think by the time Network Rail came along, most of them have been taken up and replaced with more modern items. But yeah, these basically existed and will exist all over this marshalling yard here. I've had about 50 of these done, so yeah, they're going to look really good. Just for hailing staff to report to the mess room or whatever. And you can see, I'm just digressing, but you can see the HS3 line there, and it's really coming on now, and it looks great from this side, which where I'm stood is where basically the viewing side is. So you will be able to see these massive long freight trains coming from quite a way away, as well as all the high-speed trains and yeah, normal passenger DMUs, etc., etc. So yeah, there we go. One more thing I've had done. We'll just flip around the other side. Something quite minor, but oh no, I've left it around this side. Something quite minor, as I said, but very important nonetheless, are these point levers, which obviously go next to the points. And in marshalling yards, a lot of the points were manual for obvious reasons, especially later on. So yeah, point levers and loud hailers and the aforementioned Daleks, which are going to be adorning this coal unloading facility. So yeah, there we go, bit of an update. Right, folks, that's about it for this week. And as I said earlier, unfortunately, no video next week. I just need a bit of a rest. But I haven't forgotten about the radio-controlled vehicles. Giles Favel, who actually made them, is busy binding the radio-controlled transmitters to the actual models themselves, because I just could not get my head around it. So when he's done that, we'll pick them up and we'll have a bit of a play with the O-gauge radio-controlled vehicles in a future video, probably in 2 or 3 weeks' time. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe as ever, and have a great weekend, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.